What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to TellSamyra. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so. Like this video if it resonates with you and share it with a friend. So I got today's topic based off Robert Greene's law number 2. Talks about never putting too much trust into friends and learn to use enemies. But I'm going to tweak it just a little bit. So I do totally agree. Do not put too much trust in friends. And you might say, well, so Myra, why do you say that? My friend has been my friend for 20 years. We go way back. We've done this, we've done that. But hear me out, and then you can tell me if you agree or disagree down in the comment section. So look, when you put too much trust in friends, you become too familiar with people, meaning that some of the respect that they once had for you, it starts to decrease because they feel like you need them too much. They may not come out and say anything to you, but you will notice things are changing. For instance, you got so much trust in this great relationship you're texting all the time, and you're wondering, why isn't this person texting me as much? Why are they waiting hours and sometimes days and talking about, oh, I had to do this and do that? And you know their life ain't that popping, their life ain't that interesting. They got all these excuses why they couldn't hit you back. Why? Because you become too familiar. That does not mean to discard your friend, but it also means also to try to cultivate other areas in your life where you don't have to be so needy, reaching out all the time to these people. Because I've done that before, always constantly calling and texting, and people was treating me like I was nothing. But as soon as I start pulling back from some of those same people, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, what are you doing? They're texting me because they see something different. Now they're pursuing me. So now the balance, I've gotten some power back in my life. Like, look, yeah, I'm not all after you. You know, people respect things more if they don't see it all the time, or hear from you all the time. You know, that's how you get some of your respect back. Also, with going around friends all the time, you'll notice sometimes they start saying some snarky, kind of smart stuff to you because you're there too much. Don't always be available to go to the party to help them move all the time. You're always available anytime something happens. You're the first person at the party. Then you wonder why they want you to clean up and help be the maid at the party. You're the one that's always staying to the end of the party. Then you wonder again why they want you to be the maid and help clean and help set up. And they only call you and not the other friends when it's time to move and do some hard grunt work. They're calling you. Why? Because you're always available. You're always there on time. You're always there. You never back away anytime. And you may think that's because I'm trying to be super friend. But if those efforts are not getting you the rewards from other friends, then it's time to step back with some of that. And again, it's not about discarding these friends, but it's like starting to put yourself first and like, okay, I'm not always going to be the first one at the party. Why? Because I did that before and it's not working. So looking at what you've done and analyze that. Am I getting what I want from that? If so, continue to do it. If you're not getting what you need, then it's time to change it up on people and make these people respect you more. I totally know how it is. I was always, oh yeah, I can do it. I can help you. I can help you. I did that before for a person that was more of an associate. They moved into our complex and the people I was staying with was like, oh, can you help this person? I'm like, sure, I'll help. I go out there, I'm slaving, put boxes and boxes and boxes, moving and moving. Months later, when it was my turn to move in the same complex, I asked this person, that person sat right on the balcony, act like they didn't even hear me ask, and then was just doing her thing, talking to her man while I was moving all my stuff, you know, and I think by myself, okay, and I was slaving up and down steps helping her, okay. So people ain't gonna always do you like you trying to do them. One thing that also, when you have to live with people, I tell you this, I don't care how much you think you know your friend. You don't know them until you either live with that friend or you either work with that friend, because all of us have good ways of hiding things from other people, you know? Like your friend may always tell you these horror stories about their job and you may be like, oh my God, this person just keep getting bad jobs. But then you bring that person on to work with you and you see that, oh my goodness, your friend was probably the one starting a lot of problems because they're giving you problems. So you don't know people like that. So I'll say with the job, it was a thing that Robert Greene used in his law, which was law number 2, about not putting too much trust in the friends and learning to put trust in enemies. And I don't remember the person's name, so you'll have to look it up. It's law number 2 of the 48 laws of power. So basically, this one guy in power, he wanted to bring on some people he knew and trusted because he was having problems around people around him. So of course he thinking, let me bring on some trusted friends so I can have people in my corner here in my job who can tell me what's going on and have my back, because I can't trust some of these other people. He brought this dude in. He was giving him all types of advances. The friend kept asking for money. The guy in power kept giving his friend money, all kind of stuff, and the friend just kept on just treating him like he was nothing, like disrespecting him, and eventually ended up getting this man killed because he wanted to be the one to take over power, to have the most power. And what Robert Greene was saying is that all the time when you bring on and you hire a friend and you mess up that, muddle that relationship from friend slash professional, that friend does not always respect you because they could be jealous of you. Like, well, why am I not on the same level as you? Why am I working underneath you? Then that resentment, like, oh my God, you're supposed to be my friend, but now you're my boss. And they may not even say all this stuff to you, but you're gonna notice there's a difference. How they come across to you. Some people can feel entitled. Like, well, even though you gave me this job, I deserve it because I have X, Y, and Z degrees or experience behind me. This person probably didn't even have all the qualifications that took to get this job, but they're not going to consider that because nobody, and Robert Greene did an excellent job of pointing this out, nobody wants to be that person that's just always giving something. They want it to be that something within them was good or great or good enough to get whatever it is that they receive, not because they just had to be so low and to take some handout. So it puts a crazy dynamic in there. And then so now you got who used to be your friend is now your worst enemy, and it probably is going to take you a while to notice. All the time they're plotting and planning behind your back because they have some resentment, and now you're probably having to be their boss and they're reporting to you, and then now they're like, I'm reporting to you, I know you and I know your secrets, who the hell you think you are? See, that's some crazy stuff. And that's what Robert Greene was saying. You got to learn to hire the skilled people who are qualified to do the job, and leave your friendship for friendship. So what if they don't have a job? And I'm just saying, you say whatever you want. Give them some referrals to Craigslist. Help them with a resume if you have those type of skills. If you know somebody else that's hiring that ain't got nothing to do with your job, give them that. So I'm not just saying just leave them out there, but do not hire them to your job. Leave your friendship for friendship and hire the skill that's not your friend to do the work for you. And he also talked about hiring an enemy, and the reason I'm not going to address that a lot because I've never hired an enemy, so I don't know if that works. It sounds strange to me, but hiring friends does not work for me. I've did that before. An associate, I knew this person. We had lost contact. We worked someplace before. This person was real cool. Worked somewhere. So we ended up getting back in touch on Facebook. I found out that the person had just gotten put out of a place where she was living. She was having a hard time. So I let her come and stay with me. I hadn't seen her for years. We just met up and talked. She sang. Everything was okay. So I was like, okay, look, I feel bad for her. She told me she had animals. I'm like, look, where I stay, you can't have no animals. But I'm like, you can come, but you got to do a kennel or something for your animals. First day she came, I should have known something was wrong. She left her animals in the car. And I'm like, dude, you can't do that because people will bust out your window. That can get back to my landlord that you got animals right parked in front of our place. You know, and don't a lot of people live where I was living at the time. And I'm like, it can easily be traced back to me. Well, she was like, I'm trying anyway. Next thing I know, before she even got to the job, so once she finally got into my house, out of like nowhere, we're just talking random stuff. And then she started, you're changed. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just like having regular conversation with her. And then I end up getting her the job. Like, of course I didn't tell her job. She was staying with me. I was trying to help somebody in need. She was overqualified for the job based on her degree. Even though she hadn't had that specific experience, she was still overqualified based on her degree. I give the girl a job. She worked the first 2 days or so. I was on vacation. She was going to be working under me, which I shouldn't have done, but I was trying to help somebody in need. Anyway, she come back again. Oh, you're not the same. You're this and this and this, and then was getting real nasty with me and like wrote me some little nasty note in Facebook Messenger, and I was like, you got to go. So I told her, look, you come back from work the next day, but you need to leave. She still had these dang animals in the car. I'm like, look, you got to go. When I say that this girl did everything in her power to destroy me at work, what came there. And the thing was, if it was just after me that she was trying to destroy, that's fine. But she wasn't doing her work, and we was working with in social services. So our clients had high needs. She was not meeting with the clients, was not giving them the services they should have been given. They were going to me to report against her, reporting to upper management above me about her. So it's like, not only was she trying to destroy me, she was trying to destroy, just didn't give a care about the clients. So then I started thinking about it like, wow, no wonder she was having problems. I thought people was picking on her because I did work at a place where people were picking on her. So I thought she was just continuing to attract these type of people for whatever reason. But no, I was like, okay, well, I see she had become the problem. She was going behind my back, wouldn't do her time sheet on time, nothing. And then one time HR paid her late, and she tried to blame me in HR. This how I know, if you work, don't think HR your friend. They there for the company, okay? HR, the lady in HR immediately sent me an email. Hey, just let you know, so-and-so just sent me an email trying to throw you under the bus. And she was like, but you had already been blind copying me, the HR person, on the emails of me basically begging this person to do their time sheets on time. She was like, so I already know it's not you, but I just wanted to let you know that she trying to throw you under the bus. This is what HR said. So yeah, this girl, it was all kind of crazy stuff. She was telling HR that I was knew her father had passed, and I was trying to be against her and not do her time. All kind of lies. Girl, and then teamed up with somebody else, another person, and this was all my fault. I admit this. Another person at the same dang job. I feel so embarrassed to say this because I was so stupid. This is why I do not hire friends or associates. Let these people get their own jobs, because they will stab you in the back, will be jealous of the power you have. They feel entitled that, baby, you owe them something and they should get all kind of benefits. They want to use and misuse you. And so another one. We had it was me and another manager, and I met somebody that was a roommate of hers. Now this girl was trying to get out of the retail business, and she didn't have any social service case management experience, but she was going to school for it. So she was trying to get hired. So I told, and we were doing hiring at the time. She came on, she presented herself very professional. We had hung out personally sometime before, because she was always there with the other manager who I used to hang out with sometime. So she was always personable and friendly. So I was like, the girl going to school, why not try to give her a shot? But there it goes again, because we had hung out several times before. So I guess she felt some type of way that she was owed something. Came in there again, another person. At least she was doing her job. She hadn't even been there 2 weeks. I think she had 14 clients, where some places you get 30 clients or more. And she was like, oh my God, and crying, I can't do it. Can you take some of the clients? And I'm like, take some of the clients? I'm the boss. I don't have clients. I used to have clients, but they rearranged it when they found out it was too much for us to be managers and have a full caseload of 30-something people. So I'm like, even my supervisor was like, no, we took that off your plate. That's why we brought her in. She needs to see them. You're not taking none of her clients. Next thing I know, she had partnered up with the other ungrateful person, talking behind my back. It was getting back to me. Then they talking about each other behind each other back. That was getting back to me. Just a whole bunch of drama. Then the girl ended up wanting to change over to another agency. She hadn't even been there a good 5 months, talking about we didn't accommodate her schedule and she was hoping to have the weekends off. I said, when I hired you, I told you that this type of job is 24 hours. We needed weekend workers. You said that you could work the weekend. I never told you that was going to change. I hired you to be a weekend and a few days out the week. She looks at me and says, oh, I thought that was going to change once I started. And I said, why would you think that was going to change when I hired you to be a weekend worker? You know, so this is where that familiarity breeds contempt. Like they start despising you, and you like, boo, I ain't never did nothing to you but tried to help you. But they don't see it like that. They're entitled. And so all this happened, and so me and another manager end up getting laid off. This was, and I believe had a lot to do with me hiring these people, okay? Because they were going hard behind my back, okay? So me and the other manager, we end up getting laid off from the agency, and they said they were revamping and whatever they said, whatever. So we end up was laid off from the agency. But after that, I found out that the one that I actually had allowed to stay at my house because the girl was homeless and was trying to help her, that one, while I was still at the agency, somebody had started stealing like the towels, blankets, washing powder, to the point that I had to keep running back to the store buying this stuff. That had never happened. So I had put the upper management on alert that somebody is stealing. All the stuff was kept in a locked room where only me and the other staff had access to it. And I had to let other people have access to it because I wasn't there 24 hours. So people needed access to that, to the supplies. But anyway, once I had already left the agency, somebody got in contact with me and was like, you know, so-and-so, they finally busted her. She got smart and real nasty with a security guard, and he started videotaping her when she was leaving up out the agency several days, taking taking the sheets and taking supplies and stuff out the car, and he showed it to upper management. They fired her. I was telling them all kind of stuff she was doing, and they weren't trying to listen to me, because at the time the upper management was trying to get me out of there. They couldn't stand me because they wanted to put me in unsafe conditions, and I said something about it and they couldn't stand it, okay? So they would ignore everything that I was saying about that woman till eventually it proved that she was actually stealing. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm saying, you bring somebody and you try to help them. Not only did she try to destroy me out of jealousy and hatred or whatever else, she would not give proper services to our clients, which sucks, especially in social services where they need the help. And then she's out there stealing for months and months and months. Like, dude, you got a full-time job and you stealing from the homeless? You stealing their sheets and stuff? And they said when they busted her, that they walked her to her car, and she had said, her little truck or whatever it was, and she said, oh, should I give you the other supplies that I stole? They didn't even know it. What she stole the other stuff. She started handing them, I believe, like bleach and what is it, detergent and all other kind of stuff she has stole. So what I say, take this lesson from me and learn. Leave friendship for friendship and let everything go. And lastly, even if you are down in your luck, I used to be the type of person, I would not ask for help, because I grew up in an environment where if asking for help or admitting any weaknesses, you don't have it all together, it's thrown in your face. So that taught me, don't go to anybody to ask. But people would start pointing out to me, oh, you never ask for help, you never say this, you always do it yourself. So I told myself, I'm going to be different. I'm going to ask for help. So when these years when I was very super poor, during 2008, I forget, it was hard to get a job. I couldn't get a job in my field, and so I had to take a job that was minimum wage for years, you know, because I could not find work in my field to save my life where I was staying in Northern California at the time. So I started asking people like, sugar, can I use your phone? Can I do can I do this? And what I noticed is people would be like, oh yeah, these are the same folks. It's like, oh, you never asked for help. So once I started asking for help, then next thing I know, they started being like, treating me like nothing, you know, like, oh, you know, you still don't have a phone. Oh, you don't want to get this yourself. You don't, weren't you the one who said if I needed it, I should ask? And it wasn't like I was going all the time. It was like, oh, maybe if I didn't have jam or some sugar, like, but so, and I say that because people will disrespect you if you have to live with them. Even I've noticed that even if you're paying rent, I've done that before, and people will still try to treat you disrespectful, say some smart stuff. You know, they say, this is your closet, this is your stuff. Next thing you know, they putting their stuff there. Excuse me, I'm paying you rent. You said this was my space. Now you taking over my space. And then you notice they're like, oh, well, can't you do this? Can't you go this? You know what? Why are you being disrespectful? Because people feel like I think even though they realize you're paying them rent, it's still like their spot. Your name wasn't on the lease when you all moved in together, so it's their spot. So that when some people, and when that negativity will come out, you didn't notice this when you and that friend wasn't living together. And some people feel like, oh, now you're in a place of need. Now I can be toxic and I can lord my power over you because I know you probably don't have enough money to leave on your own, or you don't have enough money to get all the food or everything you need, or you don't have a car of your own, so I can talk to you like crap because I know you can't just live in your car if you needed to be homeless to get the heck away from me in this apartment where I'm treating you like crap. So people will even do that for rides. Like they're like, oh, you know, maybe come pick you up late, even if you paying for them. They start doing little stuff and saying little smart stuff, and you like, oh, okay, I feel something different. Why? Because even with friends, if it's not at least a good equal of amount of power on both sides, you're gonna start seeing all kind of crazy stuff go on. Thank you for hanging in here with me. I just want to say that I have re-released with super major significant updates my first book, I Should Have Worn the Curtain, a novella that is part 1, is now on Amazon. The new link below is below. Please leave me a comment. Check out the book on it's on Kindle Unlimited. You can also buy it on Kindle, and you can also do a paperback version. Like I said, it's major updates, so if you read it before, you're going to want to reread it again because it's super better. This is the last time I'm going to re-update this book, but I wanted to make the changes, and I believe you're going to love the changes, and I would love to hear what you have to think. What you think about it. Also, if you want to schedule a one-on-one session with me to talk about narcissism, to talk about dysfunctional families, friendship issues amongst women, you can do that. And I want to let you know my bookings is always on Pacific Standard Time of Los Angeles time. So please keep that in mind when you book. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this video. Let me know what you think. Have you come across trouble working with friends, or if you need friends and you're living with them, or have you noticed problems? Have you noticed problems if you got to depend on these friends? They change up on you because the power dynamic has shifted. Let me know what you have to say. Bye.